All right. We'll look at the technical perspective of this week macro outlook. Okay, so we have two narrative, right? This week. We're largely neutral in the market, okay? And prior to the week, we had a PC report, which was a little bit soft. Yes, the month was soft, and that's kind of gave Euro USD to price higher. Okay, so what else did we have? We had the Iran US peace talk um, narrative last week, but at the moment we've not heard there have been an agreement that have been reached. So that narrative carries into this week. For the new event, for the new week, we have regime defining event, most especially for NFP on Friday. However, we have ICM manufacturing PMI on Monday, and we also have ICM services on Wednesday. Yeah, so these two, we have those are kind of that's a good that's a momentum driven event. Within the week, we could look at and find a way to marry it into the week perspective, but not just to whether this particular recording is basically on the technical perspective, but just to give us a little view of how we want to see the market price. So let's look at the Euro USD, particularly Euro USD. Yeah, for me, from the weekly perspective, we're seeing that this guy has priced in. It's closing well above here, and I'm not seeing it going above, pricing a little that's higher for the week. Okay, so I've already marked out on the daily perspective. If you look at it daily, you see that it's sitting on here, and kind of I'm expecting this guy to price into this level, maybe just price into that level, right? And we'll monitor stuff and see how things unfold. And I'm just price into this level and drop, okay, and drop. But this is just technical perspective. Now, if we're expecting a drop, two things may happen. Number of things will happen. The Iran talk deal did not move as expected because that's a disinflationary narrative on its own. Perhaps the NFP was solid, well enough to drive yield higher and DSY higher. What else should we expect? The ICM manufacturing PMI and services PMI perhaps becomes the narrative for the week. Okay, so these are narrative. So these are the two things that could give us a bearish Euro USD for the week. And from the technical perspective, this is likely to hold. And if market come into this zone, then we're expecting it to drop perhaps maybe back here, perhaps back here. But if the market decides to price further, then we could see market pricing all the way to this point. Okay, so give here two things. Is the market pricing here? and drop back into this range, okay? Or market finds a way, if the narrative becomes bullish for Euro USD, that is the Iran peace deal made a good headway for the week. And what was it called? Um, um, USD collapsed during the week, oil dropped, NFP was largely soft. That could push Euro USD higher. Then we could see market somewhat pricing into this level. Okay, pricing into this level. So these are the two things we want to see from the macro and technical perspective. All right. So this is for the bullish. This is where we are. If we're going to be bullish for Euro USD, then this will be our level. Let me mark that please out. Right. This will be our level to look out for the week. Right. Then this is our bullish targets. Okay. This will become our bullish target. Let me make it a little bit bolder. Let me make it a little bit bold. Maybe like, okay. These are our bullish targets. But if the market becomes largely bearish, right, this will be our bearish. This will be our bearish target. Okay. So two scenarios for the week. So if you're marking up your chart, these are areas you want to mark and see how markets will, react within those range. Okay, so this gives us a view on how we could go about it. Okay, so this is for Euro USD. So let's look at Pound USD. Pound USD on its own is quite funny. It's quite funny. We have this guy here, this guy all the way here, right? And we have this high here. So I think if the market largely becomes bearish, the pound USD will be the guy, to give us that view. Maybe you could just have how many pips from here to need that 150 pips. Yeah. So if we are largely bullish on pound USD, this will be our target. Okay, this will be our target for what's it called? This will be our bullish target for the week. Okay. Then if we're largely bearish, I'd love to see the market, tap into this high, then reject. If it does reject, pass, we may come back into this zone. Then this will be bearish target for the week. All right, this will be our bearish target for the week. So basically, that's just what I want to see. If that's the bearish target, how many pips would be that? That's 140. Fair enough. Right? 140 pips. Then if the market chooses to be bearish, maybe the market could just probably price a little bit lower and push all the way here, still 140. Right? So that's a fair price for pound USD for the week. So let's see how market unfolds really. let's see how market unfolds for us. And um, oil is US oil is below $90. Brent is averagely high to $90, right, per barrel. We have the US 2-year yield is still well above 4%, right? So we'll see what the market does or what the market will do throughout the week. Of course, if you're on the channel, you get more updates as we go. So I hope this helps and give us a better clue from the technical perspective. So this is the range we're going to work with this week on pound USD. All right, as the day unfolds, we'll take a position and, of course, get a better view. Same thing for Euro USD. This is the range we're going to work with, all right, for for Euro USD. Okay, so fingers crossed, market is yet to open. So, of course, these are just predictions, areas of interest, and all of that. So as the market opens, we'll find where to react and execute from. So I hope this video helps us or helps you to mark out your charts and gives you a better view on how to react, to the markets on Euro USD and Pound USD. So I'd like to, see you guys next time, and bye.